Hi, everybody. Welcome to week 7 math instructional video. This video is for Monday. The standards we're going to work on this week are to multiply a whole number of up to 4 digits by a 1-digit whole number and multiply 2-digit number using strategies based on place value and the properties of operations. There's a couple substandards that we need to focus on. We're going to investigate factors and multiples, which we've all been learning about in athletics, so that's not new. Find all factor pairs and multiples in the range of 1 to 100. Recognize that a whole number is a multiple of each of its factors, and determine whether a given whole number in the range of 1 to 100 is prime or composite. Our weekly overview is to watch the instructional video for each day. So there's going to be one for Monday, one for Tuesday, one for Wednesday. Thursday is just a review day. You also need to complete the assignment on Savas and do your weekly assessment, which is your graded test. Okay, so our focus this week is really factors, multiples, and determining if a number is prime or composite. That's pretty much what we're going to be doing. So before we can do that, we have to know what is a factor and what is a multiple. So a factor, I like the way that this chart explains it. A factor are numbers you multiply together to get a certain number. So for example, if I'm trying to find the factors of 100, 1 times 100 would be 100, 2 times 50 would be 100, 4 times 25 would be 100, 5 times 20 would be 100, and 10 times 10 would be 100. So those are all the numbers I can multiply together, and they will give you 100. So thinking about multiples, multiples are the answers you get when you multiply a number by any whole number. So for example, multiples of 100 is pretty much like skip counting. So if I'm going to skip count by 100, it would be 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000, 1,100, 1,200, and on and on and on. So my face really itches right here, sorry. We are multiplying. Multiples are the answers to multiplication, that you are getting a certain number. So for example, if I'm finding the multiples of 5, it would be counting by 5s. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and so on. This kind of shows you that in the chart. Here are the multiples of 4. So I kind of said that wrong a second ago. It's not really the answer to a multiplication equation because that's the product, but it is it's a number times another number, and you're counting by that number. So like it shows here are the multiples of 4. So you're multiplying 4 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to go more into detail about that on Wednesday's video. So, I'm sorry, in Tuesday's video. So, finding factor rules. So, if you're not so great on your multiplication facts, you could also use the factor rules to help you find factors. So, for example, to try to find the following numbers will be factors if the product is even, so 2 will be a factor. The product is a multiple of 3, then 3 would be a factor. The product divided in half is still even, then 4 would be a factor. The product ends in 5 or 0, 5 would be a factor. If 3 is a factor and its factor pair is even, then 6 would be a factor. If 4 is a factor and its factor pair is even, then 8 would be a factor. The product's digits add up to 9. So for example, 45, 4 plus 5 equals 9. So 9 will be a factor of 45. 10 would be a factor if the product ends in 0. The product's digits and the 1s and 10s place are the same, so then 11 would be a factor. And then 12, if 3 and 9 are both factors, then 12 would be a factor. Here's some other vocabulary words for this week. So we just talked about a factor are 2 numbers you multiply together to get another number. The product is the answer to a multiplication equation. Multiples are when you are skip counting. So multiples, for example, multiples of 3 would be 3, 6, 9, 12, and so on. A prime number is a number, we're actually going to go into that on Wednesday, so I'm not going to talk about that right now. And then an array we've already learned about last year. So an array is another way to visually show a multiplication problem. Okay, so let's get into today's lesson. So today's lesson is super easy, and part of it is learning what we just did last week. It's kind of building on what we learned last week. If you notice, the theme for this week on the math videos are owls. Okay, super easy. So this explains it to us. I'm going to show you a trick, and then we're going to talk about why that trick works. So I don't know if you can see, I think the video is blocking my problem here, but I have 30 times 80. So I'm trying to get my pen. Don't know why my pen won't show up. Oh, it's way down here. Hold on. Okay, well, that's not going to work. All right, we'll use the pen up here. Give me 1 second. Okay, so I have 30 times 80. So now I can put my camera back. The easy way to do this is kind of the way we did it last week with our tens. You really could just multiply 3 times 8. 3 times 8 is, what's 3 times 8? 24. And then because the ones are both zeros, I just transfer my zeros down. So a 0 and a 0, and I put my comma. So let's check. We're going to use my calculator. 30 times 80. It worked. So all you have to do is multiply. Because the ones are both zeros, I can use this trick. Doesn't really work when there's numbers in the ones column, but since it's a multiple of 10, I can do this. So the reason why this works explains it over here. So 330 is 3 tens, and 80 is 8 tens. So then I would have, when I multiply 3 tens by 8 tens, that would give me 24 hundreds. So 24 hundreds is the same as 24,000. So it looks, no, I'm sorry, 2400 is the same as 2,400. So it works when you just multiply that first number and you add the number of zeros that you have. This explains that if you use the break apart, you can use the commutative property and the associative property of multiplication. So I could take that 30 and I could take that 80 and I could break it up and I could multiply it in different ways. Honestly, I think the way our little trick that we just did is the easiest way for us to do it. So I really think we should stick with that. All right, let me clear my. Now it won't let me switch. Okay, no, well, let me clear this. Hold on. Okay. For some reason, my pen is not working on the PowerPoint, and that's the much better pen. Hold on 1 second. Let's see if we can fix this. I don't know. Okay, I'll just have to use this then. Okay, so struggling. I feel like my computer's going crazy. Hold on. Oh, you know what I think it is? I don't know. It looks like I have two open. Let's see, from computer's going crazy. I really need my pen to work. Hold on. Now would be a good time for you to go get a snack if you're at home. Okay, we're gonna stop right there. We'll pick up in the next video. Okay, so we'll finish Monday in the next video. I'm gonna see if I can fix this. Okay, see you soon. Bye-bye.